A cheerful, inviting intro plays, then fades slightly as I begin. Hey everyone, Mark here, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share a story from my past, a journey that really shaped who I am. Since I was a little kid, I always heard people say, every man has his fate. But for a big chunk of my life, I actually fought against that idea. I thought I could carve my own path entirely, even when the odds seemed completely stacked against me. And let me tell you, where I came from, the odds were pretty high. I was born and raised in this small, quiet village, nestled right near the border. It wasn't too close to all the hustle and bustle, but not so far that we were completely cut off. The unique thing about our village was that almost everyone lived in these traditional clay houses, earthy, solid, built to last. Everyone, that is, except my family. We lived in a handmade wooden shack. It wasn't fancy, but it was ours, built with my dad's own two hands. Speaking of my dad, he was a force of nature. Strong, hardworking, always the first to lend a hand. If a neighbor needed help with anything, fixing a fence, moving a heavy load, you name it, my father was there. He had this incredible sense of community, a true heart of gold. And that generosity, ironically, led to a pivotal moment in our lives. One day, he was helping a neighbor clean up some old iron scraps. Just a routine task, something he'd done countless times. But this time, a small, innocent cut on his hand turned into something far more serious. Gangrene set in. It happened so fast, and before we knew it, that small cut had changed everything. It left him disabled, unable to do the strenuous work he loved and that kept our family afloat. From that day on, the weight of our family's survival shifted entirely onto my mother's shoulders. She was incredible, truly a rock. She worked tirelessly at home, her hands never still. During certain seasons when the village turned into a hub of activity, everyone would be busy trying to churn their milk into butter. It was a crucial part of our local economy. And some families, knowing my mother's skill and dedication, would hire her to help them process their milk for a little bit of extra money. It wasn't much, but it helped us get by. I remember one particular afternoon, I was probably just a teenager then, tasked with delivering a container of freshly processed milk. It was a simple chore, one I'd done countless times. But this time, as I approached the house, I stumbled slightly and accidentally knocked right on the door. And in that instant, everything changed. The door opened, and there she was. A girl, her glance, just that one fleeting look, was unforgettable. It hit me like a bolt of lightning. She saw me, took in the sight of this skinny boy with a milk container, and then, without a word, she closed the door. But that image, her eyes, her presence, it burned itself into my mind. I felt a pang of something I had quite understood before, a deep sense of my own poverty, a feeling that I could never, ever win her heart. In that moment, my teenage self felt utterly defeated. But then, a quiet voice inside me, a flicker of hope, whispered, "God will provide someone for you." It was a tiny comfort, but it was enough. The very next morning, after a surprisingly peaceful breakfast with my parents, I set out again to deliver milk. And as I approached the destination, I realized something incredible. Her house, the one from yesterday, was the very same house I had been dreaming about all night. It felt like a sign, a twist of fate, but I wasn't sure what it meant. That day, something shifted within me. I left the village shortly after, not because I had a clear plan or because I expected instant wealth. Honestly, I left because I didn't know any other way forward. I just knew I couldn't stay where I was. I needed to seek something more. Something different. Perhaps fortune awaited elsewhere. I followed a path, a dusty trail, that eventually led towards the distant city. My journey wasn't easy. Nights were spent walking through vast, empty lands, the silence broken only by the crunch of my boots. I'd gather firewood to keep warm, and use the quiet solitude to reflect on my life, on my family, on that girl, and on what I wanted to become. I fell asleep uneasy most nights, the unfamiliar sounds of the wilderness keeping me on edge. One particular night, I was startled awake by footsteps around me, my heart pounding in my chest. When I finally dared to open my eyes, I saw 3 figures standing over me. They introduced themselves as Jack, Sam, and David. They were smugglers. They noticed I was alone, a young, vulnerable boy far from home, and for reasons I still don't fully understand, they decided to take me under their wing. Life with them was intense. We spent nights walking under the stars, often carrying arms across the border. It was dangerous, exhilarating, and completely unlike anything I had ever known. I learned quickly, absorbing every lesson, every trick of the trade, and to my surprise, they trusted me. I saw both the immense danger of this life and the potential rewards it offered. It was a harsh education, but it taught me resilience and resourcefulness I never knew I had. Eventually, our path led us back towards my village. I returned, not empty-handed as I had left, but carrying something else entirely. I handed over the weapons to their contacts, and in return, I received a significant amount of money. I remember walking back into our village, the weight of the money heavy in my satchel, but a much heavier weight lifted from my heart. My father saw me coming, saw the change in my demeanor, and then saw the wealth I carried. He was in the middle of some chore, and he dropped his load in sheer shock. That day, our lives changed forever. In the end, I never married the girl I had first fallen for. She had married someone else, as fate would have it. But I built a better life for my family. We moved into a sturdier home, we ate well, and my parents lived out their days with comfort and dignity. My journey taught me a profound lesson: that struggle and patience, combined with a willingness to step outside your comfort zone, could indeed lead to fortune. It wasn't the fate I expected, but it was a path I forged. And I learned that sometimes those unexpected detours lead you exactly where you need to be. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me share this personal story with you all. I truly hope you enjoyed it and perhaps found a little inspiration in my journey. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on more stories and content. Your support means the world to me,